Michelle and Jim Bob's perspectives, nurturing versus pragmatism. Josie Duggar has always been known as one of the youngest and most protected members of the famous Duggar family, but her latest decision has sent waves of surprise, confusion, and even quiet frustration through her household. Recently, Josie openly shared that she will not be attending any college or outside educational institution. Instead, she has firmly stated that she intends to continue her studies from home, under the guidance of her parents, and within the familiar environment of the Duggar household. This revelation, while seemingly simple, has ignited a storm of discussion within the family and among the public, raising deep questions about independence, tradition, and the evolving expectations within the once tightly bound Duggar circle. Her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, have reportedly been caught between pride and concern. For years, they have guided their children under a deeply rooted system of faith, discipline, and family-oriented learning. Homeschooling has always been a central part of the Duggar family's educational philosophy. Yet, as their children grew and began to explore more opportunities outside the home, several of them took different paths. Some pursued business, others engaged in creative fields, and a few even took steps toward higher education. Josie's refusal to follow this broader pattern has reignited old debates within the household about how far individual choice can go when it begins to challenge the family's traditional framework. Those close to the family say that Josie's decision did not come abruptly. It was the result of months of quiet reflection and emotional tension. Friends noticed she became increasingly reserved about discussions of future plans, particularly when college or formal education came up. She reportedly expressed discomfort about leaving her home environment, describing it as a space where she feels safest and most supported. While some family members understood her hesitation, others saw it as a missed opportunity to grow and experience life outside the protective Duggar home. Analysts familiar with family-based educational systems have pointed out that Josie's choice reflects a broader cultural tension within families that prioritize home-centered upbringing. The Duggar family, known for their strict adherence to faith-based education, has often been held up as a model of consistency and traditional values. However, in a world increasingly shaped by independence, career development, and social awareness, the younger generation of Duggars is now navigating an emotional crossroads. Josie's decision, while personal, symbolizes that intersection where tradition meets the modern demand for self-determination. Reports suggest that Michelle Duggar, as a mother, initially took a gentle and understanding stance. She has always expressed her belief in supporting her children's choices, as long as they align with moral values and emotional well-being. Sources close to the family indicate that Michelle has been privately encouraging Josie to find balance, to continue her education at home, but to keep her options open for future learning opportunities. Jim Bob, however, is said to have taken a more pragmatic approach. He reportedly worries about how the public will perceive the family's ongoing commitment to home-based education, particularly as their younger children come of age in an era that emphasizes higher education as a gateway to independence and success. Family psychologists observing the situation have shared that such internal conflicts are common in families with long-standing traditions. The Duggar household has always emphasized unity, shared beliefs, and adherence to a faith-centered lifestyle. Yet, as the children grow older and encounter differing societal expectations, the push and pull between individuality and conformity can lead to emotional strain. In Josie's case, the pressure to choose between comfort and change has unfolded in a deeply emotional way. While her decision to stay home might seem protective, it also reveals her struggle with the expectations placed upon her as part of a public and often scrutinized family. Public reaction to Josie's announcement has been divided. Some fans expressed admiration for her honesty and willingness to make her own decision despite societal pressure. They view her as brave for choosing what feels right for her rather than following external expectations. Others, however, have voiced disappointment, suggesting that education outside the home could have offered her a broader view of the world and greater personal growth. On social media, discussions have emerged around whether Josie's decision reflects genuine personal choice or whether it stems from the deeply ingrained patterns of control and protection within her family structure. Educators and sociologists have weighed in on the matter. explaining that homeschooling can offer flexibility and family bonding, but can also limit exposure to diverse ideas and perspectives. In the Duggar family's case, this model has always been intertwined with religious education, moral development, and the belief that the home is the safest environment for both learning and spiritual growth. Josie's declaration that she will remain home for her education has reignited questions about how such systems prepare children for adult life in a changing social and professional landscape. Inside the Duggar home, the atmosphere is said to be one of mixed emotions. Some siblings, particularly those who have ventured out and built independent lives, reportedly feel that Josie's choice may limit her future opportunities. They have experienced firsthand the challenges and rewards of stepping outside the family's traditional structure. Others believe that staying home is consistent with the family's core values and that Josie's decision deserves respect and understanding. The conversations between siblings, though loving, have reportedly included moments of disagreement and emotional confrontation, as everyone tries to reconcile their personal beliefs with Josie's right to choose her own path. Observers who have followed the Duggar family over the years note that this moment is emblematic of a larger generational shift. The Duggar children are no longer merely the faces of a once famous reality show. They are individuals growing into adulthood, each navigating the tension between personal choice and inherited belief systems. Josie's decision, in many ways, mirrors the choices her older siblings have made, though from a different perspective. Where some have chosen to challenge tradition by exploring the outside world, Josie is asserting her independence by reaffirming her desire to remain home. It is, paradoxically, an act of rebellion through loyalty. The emotional tone of this situation cannot be ignored. Insiders have described family discussions filled with tears and heartfelt conversations late into the night. Michelle, ever the nurturing mother, reportedly reassures Josie that her worth is not defined by her educational choices, but by her faith and integrity. Jim Bob, while firm in his views, has also been described as deeply reflective, questioning whether his own values have sometimes created unintentional pressure on his children to conform. For Josie, these moments have reportedly been overwhelming. Being one of the youngest children, she carries both the privilege of protection and the burden of expectation. Her decision to stay home represents both her dependence on and her devotion to her family. Experts in developmental psychology point out that adolescence and early adulthood are crucial stages for forming identity. In large families where collective identity is emphasized, the process of individual decision-making can be fraught with anxiety and guilt. Josie's choice, while seemingly simple, is a profound statement about self-definition. It raises questions about how much autonomy a young person can or should exercise when their life is deeply intertwined with a well-known family narrative. In the public eye, every choice becomes symbolic, magnified by attention, and often misinterpreted. Despite the ongoing tension, those close to the Duggars maintain that love remains at the center of their home. Even in disagreement, the family prioritizes prayer, discussion, and understanding. Michelle and Jim Bob have often reiterated that every decision within their household must be guided by faith and mutual respect. They may differ in how they interpret the path to fulfillment, but both parents reportedly share a common goal: to ensure that each child, including Josie, feels supported and loved, no matter the circumstances. Publicly, the family has remained mostly silent, offering only brief remarks emphasizing unity and faith. However, sources indicate that discussions continue privately about how best to support Josie's development while addressing concerns about her future opportunities. Some close friends of the family believe that over time, Josie may reconsider her stance and pursue formal education, perhaps through online programs that allow her to remain at home while engaging with broader academic communities. The situation has also prompted wider discussions about parenting philosophies in families with deep-rooted traditions. Analysts suggest that Josie's story may inspire other families to reflect on how they balance protection with independence. It underscores the delicate art of parenting, nurturing confidence without fostering dependency and guiding without controlling. Thanks for watching.